Hey everyone, it's Bill from Crooked Acres. Welcome back to the channel. So first of all, what do you guys think of my bucket hat? Brand new hat. Well, I've actually had it for a while, but I don't wear it much. I got a pretty nasty sunburn here yesterday, so I have decided to wear this going forward and hope not to get any more sunburns. 83 degrees in April in our area of Western New York. It's kind of unheard of. Once again, nice and warm today. High 70s, but we're taking a dip later this week. They're actually calling for a little snow midweek, believe it or not. All right, so what I'm going to do for you guys this week is we have got a ton of new subscribers to the channel. And speaking of that, if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the button, helps us out a lot. But I'm going to go ahead and do a full homestead tour today. I'm going to show you guys everything we got going on because I got a lot of irons in the fire right now. And yeah, there's just a lot going on with the spring coming and the weather breaking. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to walk you through the whole property. I'm going to show you everything we got going on. Come along. So I'm going to start right here at the road where we come in. There's the house. Right in front of the road here is the brand new garden area that we just plowed up. And then our neighbor was nice enough to bring over his 72-inch rototiller, and he went over this twice and he laid it down like carpet. It is beautiful. I will go ahead and throw the footage up of him doing that. Check it out. Awesome piece of machinery. The second pass has started. I'll tell you what, that rototiller does an awesome job. I mean, almost unbelievable. Pays to have great neighbors, I'll tell you that. So while we were doing that, we've got some pretty rocky ground here. I know I mean, we've picked all the rocks in here, but whenever you plow anything here or disc anything here, it's a lot of rock. So those are about the size rocks we incur here. There's a handful of them around here that we've got to pick up yet, but these are ones that were in the little section here that we tilled, and this was after plowing, after disking, and after tilling twice. We were still bringing these rocks up. You can see one there, you can see one there. And we did pick up rocks between each one of those stages in preparing this. You know, I'll go ahead and I'll show you a picture right now, but we filled the bucket of the tractor several times. You know, it looked a lot like this right here. Check it out. So this is our third bucket. Probably got one more to go, and this is after it's tilled. We've got a lot of rocks here. Tracy's kind enough to drive the tractor for me, so I can pick them up. So this newly tilled area is approximately 60 feet on that end, and it's a little wider. It's about 75 feet on that end. It jogs a little bit, and it's just under 200 feet long. So this is an enormous new area to expand our garden. Basically, the plans are right now is we're going to create some paths in there, walking paths that is. Tracy's got 3 or 4 different kind of sunflowers she wants to plant in there. She's got some other plants, flowers and things that she wants to put in there. And then towards the back here, I plan on putting in all my vine vegetables, such as my pumpkins and my watermelon and my squashes, things that are going to take up a ton of room. That way I'll keep the back vegetable garden and have more room without that stuff growing across it. So that's the plans right now. I am still kind of drawing up a map on how I want to exactly lay this out. This was just finished the other day, so yeah, it's pretty much ready to go. Do a little raking, and then before we plant, we'll get some kind of weed barrier or weed fabric down. But that's the plan for this section. I may even run a couple rows of tomatoes in here. Again, like I said, I'm still planning this out. Being the end of April, we are about a good 30 days away from planting that sort of stuff here in my area anyways. So as we come to the back of the tilled up area here, it's going to lead us more into our backyard area. Now directly behind this newly tilled up area is one of 2 strawberry beds that we have. This is the newer of the 2, and I just got done mulching this and putting all this weed fabric down. This was a mess from the winter time. I covered it in straw for the winter, and when I took the straw off and all that, a lot of weeds had grown up and all that, so we did this work. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna throw a video up right now of that process. Check it out. So this is our secondary strawberry patch that we put in last year. All the strawberries wintered very well. They all look to survived. But what we do have is we've got a weed mess. So I don't know how well you can see, but the grass has grown up real well, pretty much between all the rows. So we're gonna go ahead and put some plastic wrap down as a weed barrier. We've got some wood chips we're gonna put in between the rows, but the first thing we gotta do is weed it. I'm gonna go ahead and get that done, and I'll show you the finished product. All right, so here's where we're at. Got about 2.5 rows done. I do have the weed barrier down in between the rows. And that's just mulch around the strawberries. I didn't buy the mulch. Mrs. Crooked Acres had put mulch in her flower borders last year and decided she didn't like it. So she removed the mulch and put in stone, and I repurposed the mulch for over here. And I've still got a bunch left. So we're gonna reuse that over here with strawberries. Got another 1.5 rows to go, and they're gonna look very nice and hopefully produce very well. So as we head back from that second strawberry patch, we start coming back to what I call the protein palace. So back here is where we've got all our animals. We've got our layer chicks, or layer chickens. Right here we've got 9. We've got a mix of Americanas and Polish hens. They're in there. This coop here is currently empty, but this is where we house our turkeys once we get them. I do have 4 baby chicks in the garage. I will show you when we get up that way. They're gonna go out in here next weekend. I'm gonna put them in this coop next to the other hens so they can get to know each other a little bit before I put them all in the same one, and hopefully we won't have too many fights. As we head to the back of the protein palace here, this is where we get into our pig coop. We've got 3 pigs, and they are doing what pigs do. There's 2 of them, the other one's hiding in there. They're gonna spend about 4 more months with us before they head off to freezer camp. Also back here, I built this shed last fall. I call it a shed. It's more like a little storage area for me. And basically I store all my hay and shovels and rakes and all my feed for the animals. We've got the power for the electric fence and the pig coop there. So all that's right here. It's right where we need it. So it's available for us to use. There's the egg boxes for the layers. I did already pick up eggs today. Got 4 eggs. So I already put them away. We've been getting between 4 and 5, usually is the average every day. We did get 8 one day. We've gotten 7 a couple times, but like I said, there's only 9 of them. I've got 4 more in the garage, so I'll show you those when we head up there. So immediately adjacent to the Protein Palace is our first vegetable garden. This is approximately 56 by 48, so it's a very decent size. But like I said, when I plant my viney crops, watermelons and squashes and pumpkins and such, they really run across us and take up a lot of space. So we're gonna put those over there. I rototilled this section up already underneath the tarp here, and I've got the tarp there just temporarily. I'm gonna go ahead and put some weed fabric down. Hoping this weekend, I'm gonna get all my brassica plants planted in there, my cauliflowers and my cabbages and my broccolis and such. I can get them in earlier than the other stuff. Here is the other strawberry bed that we have. I have, again, just within the last week, pulled the straw off of this from the winter. I'm thinking that I may have put the straw on a little thick because it was a little wet under there, but they seem to be okay, so I don't know. We're gonna see how it goes here. You can see there's the straw that I got piled up. I got to clean up yet, but that's all laying there. But I've got 4 rows of strawberries, and those rows are about 2.5 feet wide, and we started with 40 plants, 4 rows of 10, and I don't know, there's 1,000 plants in there now. They propagate like crazy. So we'll see what happens come June. We'll see how many strawberries we get. All right, as we head over to this side of the garden over here, I think I showed you this in one of the last videos pretty recently. We got our asparagus bed right behind me here. I've got a lot of asparagus coming up now. I'll take you in and show you that. Also, right next to the asparagus bed, I have this raised bed right there. I'll show you that also. I am going to put, like I said, we've got some rocky hard ground here. I'm gonna go and put my onions in there because that's all tilled up, it's all soft, and it should be perfect for them. So let me show you what that looks like. So there's the tilled raised bed, and that's really soft, and I plan on putting all my onions in there, and that'll be right next to my asparagus patch. It runs about 25 feet or so. I planted 40 roots several years ago, so this will be the first year that we harvest. And as you can see, some of these are coming up really well. There, got a nice one right there. So being that it's so early, I am pretty satisfied with that so far. Just to demonstrate how dry and how hard my ground is here. I don't know if you can see it, but it hasn't rained here in about 3 days, and it's April, it's spring. And look how hard this ground is. It's cracked and it's hard as can be. It dries out quick here. It can pour all day, and within about, I don't know, half a day you could drive a tractor or a truck out here and not have any issues whatsoever. As we come out of the garden, on this side of the garden here, I've got 3 blueberry bushes. That one there's a decent size, and then I've got 2 really small ones here. I'm several years away from probably getting some blueberries. We did get a few small ones last year, I believe, and I just got the straw in there to keep the weeds down, but hopefully they'll pick up at some point. We'll see. So we come around the corner here, I've got my raspberry bushes, plants, whatever you want to call them, that I planted. I started with just a handful of these, And just like the strawberries, these things propagate like crazy. And as you can see, I'm getting leaves on them. They're coming back. Most of them, some of them aren't. But I've got them coming up all over the place. And they've even spread into the garden here. You can see way out there. And that's feet from where I planted them. So those roots travel sideways underground and come up where they want. So that's our raspberry patch. We did pick that pretty hard last year, and I'm sure we'll do again. So again, we're in the back here now. To the left of our garden, we've got a path leading back. It's just kind of area where we store our plow, and we pile rocks should we need them for different landscaping things, bricks, that sort of, junk pile that everybody's got. This path leads us directly back towards the back of our property. Now we do have 7.5 acres here. I'm going to take you back towards the rear of it. We've got several mowed paths that we keep open just for walking and such to head to the back, but the vast majority of it is goldenrod. Again, it's only April, so it isn't up yet. And I do have my orchard back here, and that's where I'm going to take you next. For those that don't know, as I walk back over the orchard to show you, we've been on this property just coming up on 1 full year in May. We've owned it for about 3 years. It was a couple years before we had the house built, about a year to build the house, and now we're starting our first year of actually living on the property. So we've accomplished quite a bit, but when we bought it, it's turned out to be pretty much everything we had wanted. We had a house we lived in 20 years, kind of in a rural area, but a suburban setup, with neighbors, small half-acre plot, you couldn't do a whole bunch with. So this is kind of what we wanted. And so when we bought this property, like I had stated in previous videos, it was just one giant goldenrod field with one single cherry tree in the middle. When we get over there, I'll show it to you, but we did a ton of work to get this to where it is today. I'll put a picture up to show you exactly what this looked like when we first purchased it. So as we get towards the back here, as you can see, we have really no neighbors. That's our house straight up there where we just came from. I do have a neighbor adjacent to me. He's got about the same acreage that I do. And then the plot of land that's next to us, I believe it's a little over 12 acres. We did meet the owners of that, and they're actually going to be building. So we will have a neighbor over there. Again, not super close. You're talking a few acres apart. So just to kind of give you a gist of what the lay is as we get towards the back here. Not sure who this is leased to, but my back neighbor here leases this field. This farmer's been out here. I'm sure you can hear the tractor. It's way over there. He's been plowing this afternoon, getting this ready. It's about a 40-acre field. It's pretty big. Last year he had soybean in it, so I don't know what he'll have going in it this year. But anyways, this grassy section, this is all ours. The property line basically runs right on this, where he's got plowed up here. So we're in the far back of our property here, coming up to the woods. We only own about, I don't know, 30, 40 feet into there. It's clearly staked in there. But what I do have right over here, for those that are interested in that, is I've got my deer stand. You can see it right there. I did harvest a deer out of there last year, and basically it just overlooks our grassy area here and the deer cross pretty much right in front here. So that's the back of the area, and we're going to start heading up now towards the orchard, and I'll show you when we get there. So this area here, heading back towards the house, we do keep mowed in and around the orchard here. As I spin you around, you can see there's the woods that we just came from, woods area. Again, that's all goldenrod once it grows up. These trees are one of the first things we planted when we got onto the property. We've got 5 pear trees, 3 apple trees, and 2 peach trees. And as you can see, all of them are starting to bud. Got 2 different types of pear trees. I've got Ayers pears and keeper pears. We have harvested the last year. I definitely like the Ayers better than the keepers. As you can see, the apple trees are all budding nice. Trimmed them up about a month or so ago. Started removing some of the fencing around them. That's why you see it laying there. And then the 2 peach trees. Again, starting to bud a little bit. Very happy with that. So as we leave the orchard area, this green area here, I don't know. I've thought about getting sheep in the future. If I do, I may use this section as a pasture. I keep it mowed down for now. It's, if I had to guess, a couple 100 feet by 70 maybe a little better. But it's I'll get up here and I'll spin you around, show you. It's a pretty decent area, so I think it'll be big enough to run a few if I so desire to do that in the future. I'll get up to the end here and I'll spin you around and show you how big it is, how big of an area it is. As we come up here anyways, this is where I store my chicken tractors for the winter. We'll be getting them out shortly. We've got 100 meat chickens coming, May 11th, first batch. So those are all stored back here. But let me spin you around, and there's the back section. There's the orchard that we just walked from. So this back section here is open. If you remember earlier in the video, I told you about the one single tree that was on this property when we bought it. There it is. It's a cherry tree. I do not know what kind of cherry tree it is, but it is a heavy producer. We pick, well, 3 years in a row now, more cherries than we need. We freeze a bunch of them. Mrs. Crooked Acres uses them in her smoothie drinks and that sort of stuff. So it's a big tree, produces a ton of cherries for us. So that kind of worked out nice. But I will tell you, it's a race against the birds. You got to time it, and you got to get out here and pick them before the birds get them, because the birds come, they will wipe that out in one evening if you're not on top of it. So yeah, that's our cherry tree. Now we're going to take the side path here and head back towards the house, which you can see up that way. So as we walk up this side of our property back towards the house, you can see the pole barn and the shed that we built. There's all the new plowed area that I showed you. And then heading over here, the protein palace. And it looks like it sounds like the pigs are up and moving around. I'll give you a quick sneak peek of these guys. Hey, piggers. Hey, piggers. Getting a little chow in, a little water in. Got 3, the third one's over there. Oh yeah, what do you got? You got some grass? You got, so yeah, you guys got stuff tore up in there. I can't believe you found a piece of grass. But yeah, it's our 3 pigs. Seems like they're getting bigger and bigger. We took some measurements, estimated them at about 115 pounds right now. So that's our best guess estimate on what they weigh at the current time. So now as I'm heading back up towards the house, I'll show you guys one quick thing. It's not super homestead related, but all the mulch that I got for the strawberries that I showed you, Tracy took out of these flower beds and put all this stone down. She worked her butt off yesterday, but her flower beds turned out really nice. She put all these solar lights in that look really, really nice. When I left work this morning, they were all lit up. So she's got these, you know, and this thing's set up all the way around with these solar lights. There's her hummingbird feeders. She loves the hummingbirds. And that leads us, once again, right to the front, right where we started. So I'll take you in the garage, I'll show you the baby chicks. So we've got the baby chicks in this brooder here. And these are, they are called Emerald Sapphires. They're a little better than a month old now, so maybe even 6 weeks. But they're doing nice. They're gonna go outside next weekend. They're egg layers, so that'll give us 13 total on the homestead here, and we get more eggs than we know what to do with, so it's plenty for us. But I don't know if the camera shows it or not, but they're a very cool purple-ish, bluish color. They're pretty neat. But yeah, so that's the chicks that we got. This IBC tote here, I'm gonna be cutting in half and turning into 2 chicken brooders. I'll do a video on that. Stay tuned for that down the road. A little later today, I'm gonna work on separating some of these pepper plants, chili peppers and Mamma Mia peppers. I'll take you in the house here in a little bit and I'll show you that the plants that we do have potted up already. So here's the kitchen table that I've got covered in brassicas and a tray of onions, cauliflower, cabbage, red cabbage, and broccoli. Those will all be going in the garden this weekend, hopefully. Over on this table, I've got approximately 100 pepper plants and about 50 tomato plants down there at the end. I've got some carnations that we grew from seed there, and then I've got a couple right there. There's about 4 different varieties of peppers there, and those plus the ones that I showed you earlier that we're gonna recup on about 125, 140 pepper plants. I know that sounds like a ton, and it is, but I love peppers. I put it on everything, and believe it or not, we go through what they produce. So those are our seed startings for now. The next day or two, we're gonna be putting in sunflowers, African daisies, 2 types of sunflowers actually, African daisies. In my grow room, I'll take you down there quick. I've got a whole tray. I'll show you what we got. Got a whole tray of lavender that we're gonna repot here shortly. And then I've got more carnations down there, and then the peppers that I do are gonna go up in here too. And hiding back here, I think you guys have seen it before, is our lemon tree. So that hopefully will be going outside the next month or 2. And I see now that we're starting to get some new growth on it. So that's pretty interesting. But yeah, that's the grow room. Fairly empty now because most of the stuff's out in the other room. And a few videos ago, I showed you guys how I planted the lettuce. I was starting to lose faith because it wasn't coming up, but you can see I'm getting quite a few coming up now. So that made me kind of happy today. All right, so I hope you enjoyed the tour. Hope you got a better picture of what we've got here and everything that we've got going on here. I'm going to go ahead and cut it here. It's starting to spit some rain. You can see them clouds behind me. There is a line of thunderstorms coming. I know that. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll catch you on the next one.